What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on Baba stock.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And in today's video, first of all, I will show you where we are on the price chart and how we caught this movement to the downside of its price action. Then I will continue with the fundamental news and I will show you what news might be the crucial news for this asset for upcoming weeks. And at the end of this video, I will share my thoughts and my technical analysis, and I will show you what should we expect next. So let's start with the price chart. I made my previous video right here at this point, and I've told you that because of this movement to the upside, that probably we completed movement from its lowest point to its highest point, and with this breakout, we might anticipate the retracement that should be at least in the shape of simple zigzag. And my main assumption was that we should have one more small leg to the upside and then we should see the movement to the downside. And as you can see, we have this movement to the downside right here, and this is our B wave, and we are forming the C wave of this entire retracement. And this is how technical analysis works, and this is how powerful it is. And for those of you who watch my video for quite some time, you know that I caught a lot of movements of this asset. On top of that, I caught a lot of movements of other assets like NIO, Tesla, Boyle, and other major assets that are on the market right now. And I have to say that it is quite interesting situation, because in my titles I used for several times the word U-turn. And let me show you that some of my viewers told me that I'm talking about this for quite a long period of time, as you can see, since April. And another person wrote this: where the U-turn? I just don't see it. The chart says otherwise. Lower highs across the board and the downward channel to visit the all-time lows is definitely in play. If the S&P 500 gets killed 1 week, so will everything China. And I have to say that, yes, partially I agree with this statement, because we are in downtrend. This asset is consistently forming lower highs and lower lows. This means we are in downtrend, but we cannot have an infinite trend. Every trend should be broken, and we are, in my opinion, is nearing this point. On top of that, I've told you about the U-turns for several times, because you can use different time frames. And for example, on 1 hour time frame, I've told you about the U-turn right here at this point, and previously I've told you about the U-turn to the downside right here when we hit this range of resistance. And I caught this movement to the upside, and also I've told you about the U-turn right here. And definitely, if you want to see the major trend to the upside, you have to use completely different time frames. For example, monthly time frames. And let me clean the chart a little bit. And even right here, we also have a quite good price action, but each and every candle represents the monthly trading activity on this asset. And we have again movement to the upside from its lowest point, and basically we have we hit the range of support from this point, from September of 2015, and we had this bounce, and right now we are again in the middle of this range, in between this bottom and this top. And this is also quite good accumulation point if you add to your position incrementally to the downside, with anticipation that this entire movement will be unloaded with the next leg to the upside. So nothing is contradicting in my statements, and that is why so let's continue with the news that might be the driver of this asset for upcoming days and weeks. And first of all, I want to pay your attention on this article that was published on Seeking Alpha on June 29th. And it says, Alibaba Baidu stocks dip before potential weak China data report. And let me quote to this: Alibaba, Baidu and JD.com were among the Hong Kong stocks that fell on Thursday before an upcoming government report, which could suggest the manufacturing in mainland China contracted for a third month in June. The South China Morning Post reported. Prices also declined as major global central bankers noted that more tightening may be required to combat inflation. Chinese manufacturing likely contracted again in June, according to economists, as it could take more time to see the impact of policy easing measures. With such downside risks, as well as the weakness in consumption and the property market, we believe more policy support is warranted to prevent a further slippage in growth, according to a report by Bank of America cited by South China Morning Post. The decision makers may roll out additional easing measures, but these could be more likely to be a calibration rather than a bazooka package in the near term, as per the Bank of America report. And this news is the catalyst for entire market, especially in regards of Chinese stocks. But let me show you the news directly related to Alibaba. And let me quote you this. On CNBC.com website, we can find this article that was published on June the 30th. And it's titled, Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba expands number of physical grocery stores ahead of the unit's IPO. And let me quote you these bullets. Alibaba's grocery unit Freshippo expanded its number of physical stores in China, the company said on Friday. Groceries have become a battleground between China's two biggest e-commerce firms, Alibaba and JD.com. Freshippo is a separate independent business under Alibaba. Last month, Alibaba greenlit an initial public offering for Freshippo, but did not give a timeline. And I have to say that this is another evidence that they are trying to focus on the smaller parts of their business. And before their major spin-off for 6 different companies, definitely we might see even more this type of news from their smaller companies, from their smaller divisions. And for now, we don't have any details about the upcoming spin-off. We just know that it will happen somewhere in the future, and the entire business of Alibaba will be split in between 6 companies. And definitely one of the most promising company will be their cloud division. And I have to say that it is a headliner among all 6 other divisions that we will see in the future. And in my opinion, we have to take a closer look on it. But so far, everything that we know is that this spin-off will happen somewhere in the future, and it will be just 6 companies. We don't know the dates, we don't know the conditions that should be met in order to see this spin-off, but definitely it will be a big deal, and potentially it will be a major boost for the price of the stock. So, and let me show you some news from the list of institutional investors. As you can see right here, we are at the NP filing season. And among this list, we can see that a lot of companies rebalanced their position. Some of them increased their position, like these ones. Some of them reduced their positions, and some of them remain stable. And we also have several new filings and these companies invested in Alibaba for the first time, and they opened completely new positions. And I have to say that you cannot rely on this data as the primary catalyst for the upcoming days and weeks, but in general, we can see the sentiment among the so-called smart money. And I have to say that the sentiment is more positive than negative. Despite all the rumors regarding the upcoming major financial crisis, I think Alibaba is a quite strong company, and with the short-term turbulence, definitely we might see the next major leg to the upside for its price action. So, and let's continue with the technical analysis, but before we dive deeper right here, please subscribe to my channel, hit notification bell and hit the like button. This helps me a lot. So guys, let me turn on all the tools, and I have to say that I still stand on my position that we might see another leg to the downside, and somewhere in the area in between at around $80 mark, I have to say we might see some kind of bounce that should be, at least for the short term, quite substantial movement to the upside. And definitely, for now, I don't suggest you to enter any of your positions, because it is, in my opinion, it is too early to accumulate your long position, and it is too late to enter your short position to hit this target, because we have not so favorable risk to reward ratio in both sides. But in general, I have to say that as long as this pivot holds, we still have the possibility to hit higher targets and to break these swing highs. And the lower this asset goes, the closer it moves to this range of support, the more likely it will be a good movement to the upside, a good bounce that will bring you, let's take a look, even to this point, depending on your entry price, we might have up to 15 or 16% of potential profit with a tight stop loss of about 4 to 5%. This means you might have more than 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and which implies quite a lucrative trade if you know how to properly manage your position. So I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life, I'm crazy, I'm mad. Doing no cap.